fucking horrible. We want Will, screw that. All right, so my time's a little bit shorter than I thought I had, so I want to get right into things. Last year was super fun because it challenged me a bit to think about how could you help people with enterprise issues, you all, find ways to get things done versus talking about getting things done. So this year, we're going to tweak that a little bit, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about how to work hard up front so that you can be lazy later. So like I said, last year, it was all about kicking your feet up, do these things real quick. You got a minute, you said yes, I went, do this, you'll get stuff. And it worked pretty well, from what I hear. Today, we're going to talk about freaking hustle. This is Nas. I saw him in concert a few days ago. It was amazing. If you get the chance to see him do Illmatic all the way through, go see it. There's a New York rapper theme going on today, so just get ready for it if you don't recognize these people, tough shit. But we're going to talk about hustle, and then we can have some fun, right? So, New York, Junior Mafia, Get Money. It's the one song they kind of did. So you want to sip Mo on my living room floor, play Nintendo, never mind. All right, so I'll leave that to Mike King, shit. All right, so when you think about getting money, so often what I've been talking about lately and what's really got me excited and hopefully has our team somewhat excited at SEER is this concept of doing things that get money for your client that aren't in that weird connected, like do the research, get the keyword, get the link, do the outreach, get the ranking, hope the ranking gets the traffic, hope the traffic gets the conversion. Like that whole conundrum, I've said, well, how about we just did this and tried to get money and cut all that other stuff out or make it a bonus or a byproduct of doing great marketing. So I want to connect SEO to the customer. Think about how often we spend time trying to figure out what Google wants. So think about it, we're SEOs, that's our job, right? I'm going to challenge you to think about your job as not to give a crap about what Google wants, but care more about your customer. There are clients who have paid for their entire contracts with us with ideas that had nothing to do to help them get their rankings any higher. And I'm going to show you and break down their numbers, because they were nice enough to let me share. So if you're kind of thinking, well, where the freak are you going with this? Here's a way to tweet and get money. Money from tweets. Let me show you. How many of you saw the Airbnb Sochi Olympics thing? Well, if you didn't hear, the rooms in Sochi kind of sucked. And, journalists were there in their rooms, and then their toilet would stop working, or the hot water would go. And look at what Airbnb did. Pretty smart. If you've ever been in a room with no hot water, or your toilet broke, or your door is jammed, and you're putting that out on Twitter, isn't that a great place for an organization that sells rooms to let you know how lovely it could be in this lovely room? And they did it over and over again, right? So they sent tweets, they got money, and then they got press and links, right? Think about the order of that. How often are we thinking of doing things the other way? It's like, why don't we do stuff that gets money, and then we'll worry about the linking part later? Weird to hear me say that, right? So, what's the ROI of having a loyal army? Anybody got their loyal army ROI? Right, I didn't think so. Gary Vaynerchuk said this best. He was talking to a client about what the ROI of social media was, and the woman, anybody in here ever see this video, what's the ROI of your mother? So here's an example, right? What Gary kind of breaks down in the video, which makes so much sense, is like we all did some stupid shit at some point that our mom encouraged us to do because she believed in us and wanted to build our self-esteem. And it's kind of what made some of us who we are today. So my parents weren't very rich, and the first time we could buy our own computer, they bought me one, and that was back when computers cost like $3,000. And I was 12 years old, and I said to my mom I wanted to put a Sound Blaster card in it so I could get sound out of my computer. And she bought the Sound Blaster card, and I realized I had to open the computer myself. And my mom's like, oh my God, I just spent $3,000, I'm gonna give a 12-year-old a screwdriver, and let a 12-year-old take apart a $3,000 piece of equipment that we really can't afford to have in the first place. Now, somewhere that built some confidence in me that keeps me from being scared of change and trying shit and failing. And Gary's point on what's the ROI of your mother is I don't know what the ROI of my mom is, but like her building that confidence in me did something that probably helps me not be so scared to do some of the stuff I do today, right? But do you want to like track it back? And I can say, well, 6% of the reason why I'm so comfortable on stage right now is because this one time when I did something really stupid, my mom said, "That's my baby," and clapped, and then I didn't feel like such a jackass. Like that, we spend so much time trying to make this formula around what's the ROI of everything we do. So last night, I was in the Moz forum, and I hadn't been in there in years, and I just had fun helping people out and answering emails. So instead of finishing this presentation, which I should have been freaking doing at 12 o'clock at night, I actually was sitting on the Moz forum trying to help people out, because I thought that was more fun at that time. Yeah, Moz. So I'm in there, I'm helping people out and shit, right? It was a great time, I was having a blast. And eventually I said, oh my God, I gotta finish this presentation. So I finished the presentation last night at 1:50, woke up at 4:50 this morning. Not good. I got a lot of energy, but on 3 hours of sleep, that was gonna be tough. So I was going to my hotel, and in the cab, I was like, guys, I sent them this. I was like, I really hope you can check me in. I got a big presentation. This is literally just a couple hours ago. This slide was put in a few hours ago. While one person was at the front saying, seriously, I'm sitting there and she's going, you know, Mr. Reynolds, I'm sorry. I know it's a big day for you, but we're completely, she didn't say booked, she used committed. We were completely committed last night. It's gonna take us some hours to get it. At the same time, I hear a woman out of this side saying, yeah, he's here. And then I see someone over there walk over and say, yeah, your room's ready. I got some sleep. That's why I'm all energized and jazzed up right now for you guys. Thank the W. What was really interesting is then they said, oh, and by the way, it's a suite on the 17th floor. This is my deck in a place in New York. Like, that doesn't happen. I think the place I'm staying at would cost you guys like $4 or $5 million if you lived there. So I'm gonna hang out on this deck tonight and like live it up like a pimp. I'm only paying like an extra $100 in like the Holiday Inn, and I have a 700 square foot deck, 17 feet up in the middle of New York City. What's the ROI of that? What's the ROI of what they just did? What's the value? You're gonna try to track it back, or are they gonna say, oh, how many tweets did we get from this area for this period of time that we can attribute multi-touch to the fact that somebody made this guy feel like we cared about him? Good luck. And we can debate that crap all day long. What's your formula for how you're gonna figure out the ROI of all the work that you're doing? It's probably something like this. I'm gonna take the search volume, the click-through rate, and multiply that by the conversion rate, and then multiply that by my long-term, my lifetime value. I'm gonna divide it by the cost, and come on, guys, it's gotta stop. What's my CTR? Like, seriously. Sorry, my friends here. I hate CTR curves so much that I did a slide deck on SlideShare that has 25 ways to tell your client to stop looking at CTR curves. Google changes so much stuff. How many times have you Googled something and you ask the person next to you and they're like, I see it at 15, and you're like, what the hell? Do it. Search for something and ask the people to your right and left to search for it and ask them what they're seeing. And you're gonna create some kind of curve? There's 1,500 PhDs there. You ain't smarter than them. What's my search volume? This changes all the time. And there's 1,000 things that cause that to change. But you're gonna put this all in your formula and try to kick out the SEO ROI. Well, what happens when you're the Carnival Cruise Lines and the Concordia runs amok and it freaking sinks and people die and your CEO doesn't give a shit and sits at the freaking Heats game at the front high-fiving LeBron? You can't fix that. Where's that in your CTR curve that you don't give a shit about your client? You can't fix that. And it's gonna affect your, well, I put all the numbers into the thing and why aren't we getting any customers? Because you don't care about them. Well, how can I put care into my formula? I heard somewhere from, right? You gotta, like, to me, you gotta give up on that concept. Like I said, Google changes stuff all the time, and every one of these changes has made understanding the impact of click-through rates and positioning and knowledge graph and 7-pack, and it's 3-pack now, and that changes click-through rate, and what if it's a branded term? We should just quit all this crap, in my opinion. The thing is like, can you handle the truth? The truth is, we don't know. We don't know, so let's stop wasting time trying to build models that nobody in here ever feels confident in the day you do it. Trying to build out the ROI of SEO by putting all those things together, it's like trying to find a unicorn. But not just any unicorn. It's like trying to find a unicorn pooping. That's how hard it is to understand the ROI of SEO. Like, 1, find a unicorn. 2, find it pooping. Good luck. How much time do we spend trying to understand that instead of trying to understand our customer? That's the failure, right? Well, I got to put it in my budget. Good luck. You're making numbers up. I guess you got a unicorn that's going to come in with your estimate, and it's going to be just doop, 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 while you're bringing it in. Eric Schmidt asks you, you want the truth? Listen to what this guy is saying. I think Rand kind of got me thinking some of this stuff, or I pulled some of these from one of his slides. Brands are the solution. Brands. What's the ROI of a brand? I don't know. It's funny how people do stuff for brand all the time and have no freaking idea of what the ROI of a brand is. But God forbid we do one thing that we can't tie back to a click-through rate and a conversion rate and an ROI for every single thing we do. Brands are how you sort out the cesspool. So, are you building something right now that has no brand? Because what they believe, and what they're pretty good at figuring out at some point, is going to be that that's how they're going to figure out what the cesspool is. I don't want to be part of the cesspool. Lastly, it's interesting to hear them talk about affinity to brands as being part of a human condition. Humans were around way before computers and algorithms. That's how much Google thinks it's hardwired in how we actually work. That, my friends, is the truth. But the good part about speaking to an audience, or with an audience like you guys, is that you can actually handle this, because many of you guys in here are brands that already have the force and the power to take advantage of this stuff. But sometimes we keep saying, yes, boss, to everybody who says, well, can you give me okay, what's the search volume? Then give me the click-through rate, and then we'll look at our lifetime value, which we have no idea if it's accurate or not. And we're just taking like tons and tons and tons of unicorn poop and putting it all together as an estimate. And we need to stop that. You guys are already doing quality stuff, yet we allow ourselves to not spend time on that and spend more time coming up with stuff that's completely made up. So I'm asking you today to abandon your formulas for ROI for SEO. It's a big ask. I'm going to show you how we're trying to do that ourselves and how we're starting to look at our data. You want to hear one of the saddest things in the history of our company is we got a client on Fox News for 12 minutes. And you know how we valued it? Take a freaking guess, like every other SEO. The domain authority of Fox News is 12 minutes on Fox News. That's worth a lot more than a DA 92. But we were so in this mentality of we have to get another link, it has to be a high domain authority, that we ignored the fact that we did something that actually has a lot more value to the client than we even saw. So this is like my Rand pointing at you being like, Will, you're asking the wrong questions. I think a lot of us are asking the wrong questions. Anybody, if you have any honey tomorrow, bring it to Rand. Rand loves honey. I'll tell you about that later. So, how many links do I need? Stop this, guys. I don't care if you're on the agency side, have the balls to say no. And if you're not on the agency side, stop asking it, or use it as a proxy to figure out who the shitty agencies are. Oh yeah, so what do you think I need? Do you think I need 30 links a month? Yeah, we think you need 30. Let me throw that out. How do you know you need 30? How do you know you don't need 29 or 28 or 35 or 50? I guess more is better. What's the page rank? I was so glad to hear Google finally say, we don't think we're going to update this anymore. Asking what the page rank is, red flag, both sides. Your agency says it, fire them. Your client says it, good luck. Or this. I saw us once sell a content package to a client early on, and I think it was like, oh, we're going to do like 30 blog posts. And I went, well, why? Why 30? Why not 31, 32, 33? Why not 20? Why not 15? No one could answer the question. Oh, we need one a month. Well, why? Well, why do we need one a month? Well, I don't really know. Some guy on some stage at some conference said once a month, once a day is good. Come on, guys. We're stronger than that. So now I'm going to start hitting you guys with some hardcore shit that I love to see that somehow us as an SEO group have started to do this stuff. And we're starting to say, screw you, I'm not getting you any more links. I just paid for my contract this month with one link. I'm going to show you that stuff. Like, link, get money, not link, well, I need more so I can rank. No, no, no. Link, get money. Spend time in forums, get money. So that's where we're going to start. So, real client data, 10 months out of the year so far. They made $11,000 through forums. We're enterprise in here. $11,000 probably ain't getting you your bonus, right? So if you found another $11,000, would be good for you. If you just like found $11,000, you'd be like, woohoo, $11,000. Maybe for your company, you'd be like, whatever. All right, I know. So it's maybe not get me out of bed money for many of you in here. For your companies. I think for all of us, we'll take $11,000. Yo, Seth, I'll take some right now. But what if I told you that there might be $500,000 in 10 months? Might that get you your bonus this year? Maybe. Well, there's the real numbers. Like when you see like the actual like dollars and cents, you know this ain't rounding and shit. This is real export CSV, added up, saw it. Assisted conversions from forums for this client. Forums drove that much in sales. Money. You want to sit mo on my living room floor. That's money. That's not links. Hey, client, look how many links I got you. Look how great they are. That's great. But what if we did stuff that just got money? So somewhere between, that's a pretty big range, right? So I'm saying unicorn poop, and I go, somewhere between $11,000 and $550,000 over the course of 10 months is the truth. The other thing here that's huge, though, is how many of us go to TripAdvisor, see what people have to say, go to Yelp, see what people have to say, go to forums and see what people have to say, and never once leave our own review or comments. That's most of you. Keep your hands down. But think about the value that I'm not even adding in for all of the people who see your brand engaging and helping people figure out their problems or the answers to their problems. And they may not click and they may not buy. But when they come back and lurk over and over and over and over again, they see your company always there. Someday they might just type your brand name in and buy because they've seen that you've cared about the community. I'm not even adding that value in here because that'd be some made-up brand guy shit, which I'm not good at. So the question is, how much time are you spending there? How much time are you spending? How much time have any of you spent this week or last week digging through forums and seeing how much traffic and conversions came from them, direct and assisted? Anyone do that last week? All right, I bet you if I asked how many of you, ooh, one. It's hard to see here. If I see like one or two. If I asked you how many of you tried to get a link last week, I bet you all your freaking hands would go up. This person just got money. So then the question I have for you is, would you put an hour? Like going into a forum and getting an answer for somebody doesn't take a ton of time. It takes more time to try to convince somebody to link to your crappy infographic. It takes less time to go in and help somebody and build brand value, brand recognition, right? Build community. Is it worth an hour? Is it worth two? If the truth is somewhere between $11,000 and $500,000, is it worth 1 hour of your day per week? One. That's all I'm asking for. And I know, but Will, I'm resource constrained. I fixed that for you guys last year with this presentation. So get your boss the links your boss wants, because they're still like, I need to get 50. All right, here you go. I gave you months worth of easy links last year. Here's the bit.ly. If you weren't here last year, tough, you missed it. Hit me up on Twitter, I'll answer your questions about the slide deck. But I gave you time back last year, so now I'm asking for an hour back for you to spend engaging with your community. And I'm going to show you ways that we're doing it, and I'm trying to get our company to do more of it because it's connecting directly to money, which I get really well. So maybe the questions that Rand wished we asked more often were questions like these. You know, it was really funny. I can't put a value on the Moz Q&A. I bet you Rand probably doesn't have a formula either. You know what's really cool is that I went there to check out unanswered questions yesterday. I tried to sort by unanswered questions. Almost everybody got 2 to 3 people answering their question within a matter of like a day. Where's the ROI in that? Yeah, we all love Moz, don't we? Because we know we'll get an answer in 2 hours. Link value, I don't know. ROI, I don't know if Rand knows. But we know it feels good, right? And that makes us like go to their conferences and stuff like that and put their freaking USB drives. My USB is a thing of Roger. Rand, don't know the ROI of that either. Maybe we should ask Rand that tomorrow. Rand, what's the ROI of the Roger USB drive you gave out 2 years ago? I guess that's what happens when you get VC. Just playing, Rand. I can actually see you this time. I see where you are. So I gotta be careful. If anything gets thrown, I know exactly where it's coming from, homeboy. All right, so the right question is, does this answer the customer's question well? Because we're all building crap content. I need 50 pieces of content that use the word 3 times and once in the title tag. Okay, that's a great formula for really showing somebody you're really trying to answer their question well. And this is my other challenge to all you guys. Stop trying to do a bunch of stuff half-assed to get it done and off of the list. Why don't we start trying to do one thing well? And I had to cut a bunch of slides out from here, but it's like my new thing. It's like, it's just that when you do one thing well, I think better things happen to you as a marketer, and you get more budget for cool stuff. But it's like we've become slaves to the content calendar. And I'm gonna show you what it looks like when you become a slave to a content calendar. Here's Comcast. They employ like 50,000 people. Comcast, you guys have built a huge tower in Philly. Love you. You're building a second one. Love you. But y'all are some content calendar. We don't care if anybody tweets at mofos. Because you have a 50,000 person company and you can't find more than 3 people on most days to Facebook like your own shit. And you give them your checks. You pay their checks. The way they put food in their kid's mouth is through you, and when it comes time to click on something on Facebook and like it, they're like, never mind. Right? But think of what they could do if they got out of the checkbox mentality of content. And if somebody hears from Comcast, we'll help you. We're right around the corner. We'll stop by. We'll say hello. How you doing? My internet is awesome at home. What Comcast could have done and should have done is not get into, we need something done every day or every 2 weeks. They should have said, we're going to do one thing well. Do what Netflix did. Have any of you guys seen Netflix spoiler alert? See a couple head nods? I got to see some hands because it's a little dark. There we go. Isn't this cool? Like, you go to spoiler alert and you click on that you want to see spoilers and ruin the whole season of something. And then they go, are you sure? To which, of course, you click freaking yes. And then they just start showing you the ends of movies and shows, like Old Yeller. So if you can only imagine what my next slide is. No, I didn't do it to you guys. I had to watch the end of Old Yeller and cry a little bit as my dog sat there next to me, and I'm just like, I'll take this out. But this is ruining not ruining the ends of movies. Some people like to see the end of movies, right? Look at the difference. They got enough likes. That's like half of Comcast's entire organization. Because they did not get into the, we need 50 posts. They did, let's do something that people might actually talk about and want to share and talk about. Like, I can't, seriously, guys, it'd be like handing out freaking Ambien if I tried to show you all the cool stuff that's happening on the Comcast Xfinity blog, yo. Let me read this thing back to you with no pictures. It's TV. It's T freaking V. It's something I look at and it makes us laugh. And we crank it up and we say, yo, DVR, pause, like check this out, you gotta see this movie. And what do? They write a bunch of blah, 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 and then blah, 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 and then blah, 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 blah. And then 2 people went, well, I wrote it and I paid for it. Let's at least the 2 of us like it. But that's just one example, right? There's so many other examples that Comcast could have done. By now, so many of us have so many different things. You know, we've got Netflix, we've got Netflix streaming, and we have Amazon Prime, and some of us have Rokus, and some of us have, Comcast or whatever. There's all these different things we have. And if you're like me, sometimes you come home after a long night at the bar, and you just want to watch like Boiler Room, right? You're like, okay, I gotta get pumped up for freaking Monday, and I wanna watch Boiler Room. This asset, this tool, shows you all the places where you can stream it. So you go, oh, I got Apple TV, boom, watch it. It's a great movie for the first, half hour or so. But look at what they're doing here. Here's where you can stream it, here's where you can buy it, here's the difference in the cost between the two. Do you want to get it on DVD and Blu-ray, right? What's really cool is they're also willing to give you notifications if the places that don't stream it yet or don't have it yet get it. Think about that. You think that might get some tweets? Might you actually use that? Somebody in here who has never, does that sound like it's something you might actually use? I see heads nodding. How many of you have ever liked something on Facebook from the Xfinity blog? Come on up to the front. Hour of free consulting, I swear. You just got to prove it and that you didn't do it right now. Right. A lot of people wrote that down, not because they're like, that's how I'm going to build links. They're like, I might actually use that. I like Boiler Room too. You guys want to watch it tonight? We know exactly where we can stream it from, don't we? Come on over my fat pad for a day. I'm going to live like a king tonight. And look at the referring domains and the traffic and the social shares it gets. Day in and day out. And I know you're going to say, well, building stuff like that, I'm resource constrained. Well, I think, what would Biggie say, right? Biggie would say, talk to the hand. Biggie went from, slinging crack rocks and having wicked jump shots. He went from ashy to classy. Like, you don't go from ashy in your SEO strategy to classy by writing crappy content every day. It was all a dream. He used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine. Hanging pictures on his wall. And now look at him. Well, he's dead now, but he was freaking awesome while he was alive. We're in New York. Screw Tupac. Hit him up. Whatever. I want to show you guys that when you decide to do one thing well, it's not about how big your team is. It's about your decision to do something well versus do something all right. I don't have time to go into these slides because I cut them out because I want to make sure I got time and I'm already running way short. The Simple blog. This guy, Scott Edwards, is just Scott Edwards at Twitter. Follow him because he will show all of you how to get freaking a whole team built by doing one thing really freaking well. He posted this thing on November 20th of 2013 by himself. No team, no graphic designer, no data scientist. Had to have a lot of conversations internally to get people to share some data. And then for the next 6 months, he didn't do another damn thing because he couldn't, because he was a one-man band. So he said to his managers and his boss, look, I can't do anymore. Because they went, oh, we love that thing you did last time. He went, well, can I get more resources? Well, no. Well, then you're not getting any more of your stuff. But I liked it. It got us on all this press. Well, you're not getting it because it takes me 6 months to build it. Well, this is what he does to the content calendar. It's like what, Jay-Z and Kanye did to that freaking Maybach. They tore that thing up with a blowtorch and a freaking circular saw. A Maybach. Now, when I ask Scott Edwards, hey, how big's your team now? In less than a year, he has a 15-person content team. How did he get it? Well, they got acquired, so that helped. Money helps. But he had already shown his managers what it looked and felt like to build something that people wanted, and they loved that feeling. And then he went, yeah, you ain't getting that no more. It's going to take me 6 more months to do it because you guys didn't give me enough resources. So I got it done, but you have to show somebody what you can do. And if all you can do is pay somebody to write a bunch of low-quality blog posts, your CMO is never jumping out of bed like, I can't wait to see more of that stuff you had written in India. Show me more. Never in the history of ever has that been said by a CMO. So, I'm low. So I want you to find forums to participate in. I'm asking you for an hour. Remember, Slide Deck last year gave you an hour back a month. I'm going to take it back and ask you to do some more awesome shit. You do a search like Powered by vBulletin or Powered by PHPBB and drop in your topic. Find the forums. And don't pull some like, can I sponsor your forum? With this do follow link? Don't do that. Engage. I just showed you. The engagement will get you a lot more than that one freaking do follow link. Anybody here ever done a good job of trying to explain to your CMO why they need 15 more do follow links? Right. Anybody ever here try to explain how they need to get more money? How are you making your case for doing amazing work? I'm using these numbers. Hopefully you'll get your own. You can use this slide deck. So you find a forum. I just happen to own this one. I built it back when I was working in some Fortune 500, and I was really bored 13, 14 years ago, and it's still around. And people are still on it doing, so I do searches like this in a forum. What are people looking for? Find out what they're looking for, and look at where you have expertise and go answer that stuff for them. Like people are looking for apartments. Look at all the paid search ads, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We will pay for a click to help people find apartments in Philadelphia to the tune of $5 or $6 a click. You know what we're not going to do? We're not going to answer Home Inspector BC. Free. Your CMO likes free. Get on that. That's a free person you could help if you decided not to take the easy route and just go, can I just spend more money on the PPC? A friend of his must still be looking for a studio because nobody showed up to answer Home Inspector BC. It's a goddamn shame. Anybody in here does apartments in Philly? Go look up Home Inspector BC and help his friend find a studio. Stop getting crappy links. Have you checked your own forum? So Ryan Fontana, one of the guys we work with, he runs our office in San Diego. He actually, for a client who goes unnamed, because I can't name them, big cloud hosting. Cloud hosting is confusing. Like, I don't even know what half this stuff means. So Ryan's now looking at the client's forum because he saw how many conversions and assisted conversions were coming from their forum into people signing up. So he's now going through the forum and doing special searches to find instances where there are 0 replies. And he's saying, let's go make sure we get your subject matter experts to answer this question. Because that thread ranks, people are getting to it, but there's no answer there. That's clicks and money. You think they're going to be asking me about how many links we got last month when we show this is how many dollars we put in the fuel tank? Hopefully not, because if they do, we're going to be like, what? You put money in the tank. How much time are you putting there? Look, if you're a big company and a lot of people, and you're a complicated sell, and you've got your own forum, do this. Stop link building today. And if your boss goes, but I thought we needed links, fly me out, I'll smack them once or twice, and I'll say, you don't need links. You need this. Those people need help. Start helping people because they'll talk about you to their other friends who may need your shit. Nobody talks about, oh, that link I clicked on at the bottom of that forum that said, like, CAD software. Psh, let me tell you about how awesome that was. Never said over a beer at a bar. So are you still wondering how many links you need, or am I giving you something slightly different to think about when you get back to your desk on Monday? Pay attention tomorrow, Rand's up. So pay attention tomorrow. Don't go doing this stuff tomorrow. Let it sink in. Let it marinate. But think about it. Challenge your agency, challenge your teams to try to do more of this and strike a balance. I mean, we're not going to get off of the link crack tomorrow, right? But I think it'd be nice if we started spending 10 or 20% and showing people what we could do when we connect and engage with customers. For an example, I'm going to go through this really quick. The word SEO company, sometime years ago, I thought that was a great idea to rank for that shit. And we currently have like the second most links of anybody on the top 20. We got links from places that are like, MSN, and Google has links to us. And you know what? That's a local query. When you look at most of the results, Google believes it's a local query more than a national query. So now us with all our links, SEER, yeah, RCS, baby, links from Moz and links from CNBC, it doesn't do squat the minute SEER decided to not focus so much on being a Philadelphia company. Where does that fit in your equation, in your formula? Because don't we think we have to get more links? There's no amount of links I can get right now, unless I decide to go all Philly hardcore, that would actually fix this teeter. How many conversions did I get from the keyword SEO company when we did rank for it? I got a spoiler alert for y'all. 0. Zip 0. Stingy with De Niro. No one. Why? Because it was the wrong customer for us. Man, but it had the keyword volume. And we had the ranking, and I put my formula in, and it told me that that cash register was going to just kick out millions, right? Oh, we got number 2 SEO company, just wait for the money to show up. Never happened. What did show up is a lot of people who wasted Jamie's time. Oh, hey, I got hit by Panda, and I was wondering if you guys can help me with that. Click. Hey, I got hit by Penguin. I was wondering if you guys can help me with that. Click. I'm selling dildos. I'm wondering if you guys can help me with that. Click. Right? Like, that's what it was. That's what we got. So we tied up Jamie's time from not going deep on the clients who believe what we believed. We were spending a bunch of time answering phone calls. It got so bad, guys, that we had to build a form. Our contact form is purposefully arduous. It's like, it'll take you like a half hour. Because we're like, well, we got to know who's serious and who's not. So we had to use our form to keep people from contacting us. Go ahead and try it. You will quit. So the reminder here is don't let the ego of your CEO drive your SEO. Those ego head phrases, we are watching them time and time again not have the impact that we thought. But yet, it's so hard to get them, and when you finally get it, you're like, yeah, baby, number 2, give it a week, give it 2 weeks, give it a month. Oh, shit. And that's when your CMO goes, oh, I thought that thing that we got was supposed to bring in all this money. What happened to that? You told me that that's the cash register and the formula. And it's like, I'm sorry about that formula, right? So I don't have time for this, so I had to cut all these slides out too. I think it's critical to figure out how to build a dashboard to stalk the people who drive the marketing in your company. CMOs, SMEs, CEOs, build it. I'm kind of building one right now, but it's just not ready. Hopefully I can come back and do this again, 2015, 16, whenever. And then share that with your agency and say, don't show me a freaking idea to build me links or to do anything for my business that doesn't connect with what my CMO or CEO or my SMEs care about. Now it's going to make your job easier if you force us, as your agencies, to actually do that. Why? Because we've greased the wheels. We have found the path of least resistance. Because we're talking to the things that the people up the food chain who control your budgets are going to do. So often when we come up with these crazy ideas, we do it too. We do it. I mean, we're victims of this. We do it, we come up with this great idea, and then you bring it up to your boss trying to say, well, it's going to get links, and then it's going to drive rankings, and then with those rankings, we're going to rank for these 3 keywords, and with those rankings, I think we're going to get more conversions, and then that's going to put money in the thing, and your CMO's going, huh, what? What are you talking about? Is that English? Page rank, right? But most of what I'm building right now is based off of this thing that we put together. That's how to use if this, then that to basically build out a stalker dashboard and a whole lot of other things. Stalk your customers, stalk journalists, stalk your CEO, stalk everybody, right? It's a stalking tool. But we haven't put it all together in like a dashboard, and that's what I'm going to try to build out over the next couple months now that I'm not running the company anymore, thank God. All right, so I'm going to show you guys a couple of things that blew my mind, but they're not mine, so I always have to make sure that you guys realize, like, if you are like, oh, I need to follow Wil. He knows some shit. I'm like, no. Amanda McGowan knows some shit and showed me some shit and went, I don't want to speak on stage at freaking C3. And I went, all right, well, I'll do it because that's some smart shit. She's like, go for it. So she's the one to follow if you like what if you like what you're about to see. I'll bring her up later. So we got a client, a link from Men's Journal. Woo! Link Men's Journal, RCS, right? I'm going to show you some real RCS. So what really happened is we got 8 quote requests from the link. So the link we went, yeah, you got a domain authority or whatever. Men's Journal, good. Start a relationship with a journalist, good. But we got 8 quote requests for your service, right? And then Business Insider picked up the same article, and we went, cool, 20 quote requests. So what's a quote request worth to this client? About $200. So in that month, they got 2 links, domain authority, whatever, that paid for almost half of that client's monthly spend. Think about that. Wouldn't that be nice if we started paying for ourselves based on actually doing things that drove direct interest, conversions, micro conversions? I'll take a freaking newsletter sign up over a domain authority right now. Because it's beginning the journey of a relationship. So we get our client in some, anybody here like a watch guy or girl? Like I'm not. But like supposedly this is like the holy grail of like watch sites if you love that stuff. So client gets interviewed, 15 quote requests. Notice I'm not saying domain authority. Hey, it's a shock for me too. 15 quote requests. What was really cool is that then Forbes picked it up. Who cares about the domain authority? We got 54 quote requests. I just showed you what the quote request was, about $200 value for each quote request. Let's talk about money. Boom. $14,000 in a month from 2 links. You want me to just go get you more links? Or you want me to go get you more of those links? Or do you just want me to get you back in Forbes again? Should I maybe spend the whole month trying to get you back in Forbes again? Should I maybe show you some stuff that I've been learning? Because now that I'm also not the director of our SEO team anymore. That'll come out soon. I'm trying to learn more about some other types of marketing. So what's really cool is I just found out yesterday that you can actually target the Forbes page with your ads in the GDN. So then your ads are showing up to people on a page that ranks well for some stuff. So you can continue to drive your brand and get more conversions from it. I don't care if it's no followed. Who cares if it's no followed? It gave you money. That's like complaining about a $100 bill that's crumpled up. As long as it works somewhere, I will take it. The other thing is helping your current users find solutions. This works really well, again, with big clients who have a lot of content and something that people are often confused on. It's just don't hit enter, guys. Don't hit enter in the process of trying to understand what your customers and potential customers' frustrations are. They will tell you. And then your job will be, once you check on this, try can I, does, whatever. Will PayPal send me a check? People want to know these things. And if you look at rankings, you might say, hey, pay bills with PayPal. We do that. We rank #1. Go get me some more links and help my other stuff rank better. Wrong. Maybe what you should do is say, wait, we don't even have the word bills on this page. So if somebody gets to it from that #1 ranking, what's the experience when you get there? Are those people going to convert? You can't. The word bills isn't even used on the page. You cannot convert if that is your intent. So am I saying maybe go back to some of your top rankings and make sure that the customer experience drives the user through? Yeah. But that's not going to show up in your conductor report. Sorry, conductor. I'm still #3, but I'm making #3 work better. So there you go. Add in your GA, your Omniture, whatever. Get all that stuff mixed up in a nice bowl and show the client the outcome, which is we're getting more conversions from the same ranking. And when they ask you for links, you say, really, you want to talk about links and domain authority again? I love helping customers in my sleep. So I'm going to give you guys, these are just my random shit I've been working on because I have a little bit more time back now. So I've been working on some cool stuff and showing you guys some of the stuff our team has been working on that I've gotten a chance to dig in. So we have an e-commerce client. They had no coupons, right? We don't have coupons. No one has coupons, but they had an affiliate program. So what happens? If you search for their brand name and coupons, Google's not showing 0 results. People, they're going to show somebody. So it took us about a year. We've been working with this client for like 5 years or so. And we eventually convinced them to build a coupon page that's totally tongue-in-cheek, totally like, we don't have any freaking coupons. Like the page is like, we don't have any freaking coupons, you cheap bastard. Psh. That fits their brand. That fits their brand. So that's how they talk, right? And we kind of make fun of the fact that they're trying to save money on coupons that don't exist. How long are you going to keep looking for the coupons that don't exist? You know, like click under here and it lifts up and there's nothing there, right? Like you can play around with this to make sure it fits the brand. But what you guys really need to look at, that page drove $2.8 million in revenue. Revenue. Not links, not domain authority, straight revenue. So then let's build a new equation for that shit that's not unicorn poop. I know how much you pay your commissions. It's 7%. I just saw that there was $2.8 million over the course of 2 years of having that page that has come in and converted from that page. Direct conversions, not assisted. Do the math. I just saved you enough to pay for our contract for 2 years. I didn't build a link. I didn't do any domain authority. I just found an opportunity to kick the freaking affiliate out. And that doesn't include all the other byproducts that we've gotten from that. Other assets we're building, the increased rankings we have gotten for them, the assisted conversions. I'm not counting any of that in. I'm going, I paid for myself with one strategy that had nothing to do with link building at all. So this is a picture of a bunch of us. None of the people here today, I think, are the people that are here on this picture, especially the one that's like going to punch the other guy. But thank God for Six Flags. I was on a bus going to Six Flags from our office to Hamilton, New Jersey, wherever it is, Freehold. And I was sitting with a couple of new guys on our PPC team. I was sitting with Justin, and I was sitting with, is it Ian? I think it was Ian. And they're telling me about retargeting in email with Gmail. I'm going, that sounds really interesting. Tell me more about that. I was working on a strategy for a client on the bus. Everybody else was having fun and like playing some stupid game where you like flip something up on your head and people got to guess it. I don't know what that shit is. I'm sitting there with like a sheet, like trying to figure out how to draw a strategy out for a client. So I stopped them from having fun, and I said, help me with this, guys. If you were in PPC, how would you tackle this problem? And they started giving me ideas. So something that's really interesting, guys, is putting emails or ads in Gmail. We know it exists, right? What's interesting is they said, well, for that client, what if we got all the emails from, this is a banking client, what if we got all the emails for the statements of all of their competitors? And you take that email, subject line, and you match only to that in Gmail ads. I went, oh, wait, I can do that? So I said, okay, so when someone signs up for SurveyMonkey and I compete with them, could I, in theory, target ads to them, retargeting 6 months later? Because maybe I believe that in 6 months, maybe people start getting a little bit like, I'm not sure if this is the right solution for me. Somebody has a free 30-day. Why not put ads in that remind them? It's 28 days. You might want to cancel your subscription before your credit card gets charged. Do that to a competitor. See what happens when you stop doing some SEO and go over to PPC people sometimes? I get freaking devious, kid. So think about that. No, does anybody click on those ads? Not really, not a whole lot. There's other things you can do with that. But it's a strategy I would have never thought of. Came to me on the back of a bus going to Six Flags. So then it got us thinking, and you should see the thread at SEER right now. It's pretty awesome because all these PPC people are throwing stuff in, and SEO people are just like, oh my God, this is freaking cool. So another thing you can do is when people are looking to cancel a service, all right, guys, our PPC team was like, we cannot believe that there's not one advertiser that we can find in this space doing this. Saw Epi, y'all are freaking agile as hell, take it. Because nobody's bidding on the word cancel Comcast. No one. Somebody's getting ready to cancel Comcast right now, and there's not one of them damn affiliate sites that are trying to sell you Dish Network showing up. Think about that. Type in cancel and tons of SaaS businesses. Moz, I did it too, Aweber, Salesforce, Netflix, Comcast. People are trying to figure out how to cancel those services, and no one has ever thought of showing an ad that goes, let's just make it even easier for you. Think about that. That's an opportunity. It could be an opportunity for you to get that person back with something super tongue-in-cheek. How about a Whiteboard Friday for that? Why do you want to cancel? That'd be awesome. Like Rand just like singing, please, baby, please, or something, you know? What else I learned from my paid search team is that places like Business Insider and Slate, you can advertise specifically on the pages that rank well. I said, you can? They went, yeah, dummy, you've been able to do that for years. I went, I didn't know. So you buy the ad, which people may or may not get to or click on. You also buy in the GDN banner ads on the sites that rank well that are in the GDN specific to that page. Or you can match and say anything on Slate that also mentions the word Comcast, make sure my ad shows, because you know they rank well naturally. This is super new stuff for me, so I'm still trying to figure some of it out. I'm a little bit outside of my comfort zone, but I'm learning, which is super exciting and fun. So, a couple of quick tips. You can do this. At first, when I emailed the team, I'm like, are you not allowed to do this? Because why hasn't anybody done this from what I can see? And they're like, dude, as long as you don't use the customer's name in your ad, bullet point number 2. I was going to put bullets in, but I knew Ram was going to be here. Didn't want to piss him off, so no bullets. But they said, as long as you don't use the competitor name in the ads, we think you might have just found something that people aren't doing anywhere on the freaking web. And I shared it for the first time with you fucking people. Another tip that I got that was really freaking interesting, so this is another great thing about doing some PPC. Google doesn't invite SEOs to Google's campus and show you the new stuff they're working on, but they surely do invite the PPC people who spend millions with them. So I was out at Google. A lot of the stuff they showed me was under an NDA, but this I found on somebody's SlideShare, so I knew it was okay to share. It was the head of their UX department. What she was saying is if you compare the queries that people type in on mobile, especially for e-commerce, She stressed this. She said, look at the difference in query and conversion on mobile versus desktop. She's like, when you see the difference, you must figure out how to get autocomplete on the mobile ASAP, because people are mistyping things and getting 0 results and getting frustrated and not coming back and saying, oh, I'll go back to that site later, and they never come back to your site. They Google something else and buy it from your competitor. I was like, damn, that's smart. And she showed the data behind it, which that I can't share. Sorry. So those who work the hardest, you can get lazy later, trust me. That coupon page, it made money for my client today. And what did I do? I took a nap, came here, listened to some cool speakers. I'm gonna kick it with you guys later. And there's all different kinds of stuff sitting around making money, because I don't gotta do like 10,000 outreaches to get somebody to link to something. Try to start incorporating a little bit more of this, guys, in your day-to-day. When you do that, it's time for you guys to get to freaking work, right? I gave you time back last year. Take that time back, drive it into this, show your direct reports, your managers, whoever it is, your clients, I don't care if you're agency or whatever, start showing them the money you're driving that's not connected to getting links, that then drive rankings, that then drive conversions, that then drive revenue. Start building stuff that just connects those 2 dots. You'll get much more budget. Trust me. These are the people that you should follow. I wanted to bring them back up again. And lastly, my last tweet, I'm sleeping outside on November 20th to raise money for homeless kids in Philly. I've been doing this for 3 or 4 years. Yes, it sucks. I've already realized the temperature low is going to be about 31 degrees that night. I set a big goal for myself to raise $17,000. I'm nowhere near it, so I'd like your help. The link is sitting there. Y'all are all going to go and check me out. I know you're going to see it. Help me help some homeless kids in Philadelphia get better access to healthcare and everything else. And I would personally really appreciate it for some of the things that I just gave you that I've given nowhere else. Thank you so much.